Let's have a look at how we can use our corners to join our rounds so that we can disguise the join very, very effectively. The first join I'm going to show you is using a half double crochet in a standard granny square. It's very, very straightforward. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, which counts as our beginning double crochet. To make it easier to identify that third chain when we come to joining, feel free to place a little stitch marker into that third chain. And then do 2 more double crochet in that corner space. And we've now created half of a corner, and we're going to leave that and we'll finish it off when we get to the end of the round. So I'm going to leave you to finish off the round, and I will see you just before we get to that final corner. Right, I'm at the end of the round. The final thing that we need to do is to complete the corner as indicated by the arrow. So let's have a look at how we're going to do that. We're going to work our 3 double crochets into that same space. It's 1, 2, and 3, like that. The next step is going to be to join with a half double crochet into the top of the third chain of the beginning chain 3. I'm now going to show you how to identify which is the correct stitch to work into. It can be quite confusing, so watch carefully. Let's look at this particular stitch. The top of this stitch is the loop as indicated by the arrow here. Now it's important that you learn to identify this so that you can learn to work into the correct stitch when you are joining in the corner. You don't want to join into that stitch, you want to join into the top of the chain 3. You're going to do that with a half double crochet like that. Joining with a half double crochet effectively gives you a chain 2 space, but moves your starting point more towards the center to make it easier to start the next round. Next, we're going to have a look at a round of half double crochets where we join with a half double crochet in the corner. Chain 2, which counts as your beginning half double crochet. Now, you are welcome to mark that second chain if you think it's going to help you when you get to the end of the round to identify the correct stitch to join into. On the last round, we joined with a half double crochet join into the top of the third chain of the beginning chain 3. What I'm highlighting here now becomes your hidden stitch. It's important to realize that that is your hidden stitch. So we're going to work into that stitch first. Unless the pattern calls for you to skip the hidden stitch, in which case you will not work into that particular space. So let's work into that space there. And now you need to be careful when working the next stitch that you don't accidentally skip that stitch. It can be quite easy to do. So there's our first 3 half double crochets. There's our 4th one. Let's just continue working our half double crochets until we get to the corner. Into the corner we're going to work 1 half double crochet, chain 2, 1 half double crochet. Now the pattern will either call for you to skip the hidden stitch or to work in the hidden stitch. That is the hidden stitch as indicated by the arrow. I'm going to work into it in this instance. So let's have a look at that. And then I'm going to leave you to complete the round and wait for me just before that final corner, and I will talk you through how we do that join. Do 1 half double crochet into the final corner. Now you need to identify your second chain of the beginning chain 2. And I'm going to count backwards. So I'm going to go to a few stitches back, and then I'll be able to identify that quite easily. So it's this one over here, and I'm going to do a half double crochet join into that stitch like that. I've now demonstrated to you joining with a half double crochet join, which effectively forms a chain 2 space. If you want to form a chain 1 space, you can use a single crochet join. When using a single crochet join, I highly recommend that you use a stitch marker because it can be quite difficult to find the correct space to work into later on in the project. If you want a chain 3 corner space, you can either do a chain 1 plus a half double crochet join, or you can join with a double crochet. These little tricks of the trade really do add a professional finish to your projects, as these joins are very well hidden and you don't get ugly lines of slip stitches that ruin the look of the finished item. So that is effectively joining in the corners. I hope you've found this little tutorial interesting, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.